This morning, the Cabinet concluded that because of the extraordinary booster campaign, together with the way the public have responded to the Plan B measures, we can return to Plan A in England and allow Plan B regulations to expire. Yes. And having looked at the data carefully, the Cabinet concluded that once regulations lapse, the government will no longer mandate the wearing of face masks anywhere. From tomorrow, we will no longer require face masks in classrooms, and the Department for Education will shortly remove national guidance on their use in communal areas. We will trust the judgment of the British people and no longer criminalise anyone who chooses not to wear one. The government will also ease restrictions further on visits to care homes, and there will soon come a time when we can remove the legal requirement to self-isolate altogether, just as we don't place legal obligations on people to isolate if they have flu.
Welcome back to the channel. I'm glad that you found my backup to Anna's Thoughts and musical parodies here at Anna Speaks Out. Thank you for being here. If you would like to support what I do here, I invite you to check out the merchandise store, which will be linked in the website that will be linked in the description of this video. I have several different designs, as you can see, moving across the screen that I think would be pretty relatable to most, if not all, of the people who would be here watching this video. And it's basically a way to literally wear your heart on your sleeve or your cup or whichever method you prefer. Thank you so much in advance to anyone who decides to support in this way, and now let's get into today's video. So from Routers and with the General Topic line, The Great Reboot, which makes me think of something else that a lot of politicians have mentioned over the years and that I featured in a recent video, betting Omicron has peaked. PM Johnson drops COVID rules in England. Johnson's pledge to avoid lockdowns and live with the virus contrasts with a zero-tolerance approach to COVID-19 in China and Hong Kong, that's a plus, and tougher restrictions in many other European countries. Many nations across Europe have endured further winter lockdowns, but this government took a different path, Johnson told lawmakers, saying the government had got the toughest decisions right. And now let's have the man himself tell you a little bit more about it.
As a result, from the start of Thursday next week, mandatory certification will end. Organisations can, of course, choose to use the NHS COVID Pass voluntarily, but we will end the compulsory use of COVID status certification in England. From now on, the government is no longer asking people to work from home. And people should now speak to their employers about arrangements for returning to the office.
And here are some reactions to the news from a few different people who live in England.
I'm mixed views on it because I believe that obviously the pandemic isn't necessarily just over, just suddenly like that. Say, for instance, on the tube, definitely think that we should still wear masks and things like that. Definitely think that we should still wear masks and things like that. But I do think we do need to resume some kind of normality, like people do need to be going back to the offices and getting back to work.
I think I would keep it in transport and crowded places like shops where people have to go. Not sure about social gatherings though, and clubs and things like that.
So lift them all, let's get rid of this COVID crack. It's about time we get on with our lives, I think, because the variants are getting weaker and weaker. We're all becoming more immune to it. So I don't see a reason why we should just get back to normality and stuff. So
I agree with Kevin the construction worker. I think it's high time that all of this silliness be stopped around the world. In fact, I don't think it ever should have been a thing in the first place. And now here are Boris Johnson's ideas on why it is that he believes that he's able to now drop all of these restrictions and mandates.
Encouraging people to change their behaviour to slow the spread of the virus and buying crucial time to get boosters into arms. We made the big call to refocus our National Health Service, necessarily requiring the difficult postponement of many other appointments so that we could double the speed of the booster programme. And thanks to the extraordinary efforts of our NHS and its volunteers, we delivered the fastest booster programme in Europe, reaching half our population before any other European country, with more than 36 million boosters now in arms across the UK, including more than 90% of all over 60s in England. The data are showing that time and again, this government got the toughest decisions right. Today's latest ONS data show clearly that infection levels are falling in England, and while there are some places where cases are likely to continue rising, including in primary schools, our scientists believe it is likely that the Omicron wave has now peaked nationally.
But a lot of people believe that this right here is the actual reason why he's doing this. Again from Routers, in the name of God, go. UK's Johnson faces demands to resign. And the article reads, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson on Wednesday dismissed calls to resign from opponents and some of his own lawmakers fighting to save his premiership amid a deepening revolt inside his party over a series of lockdown parties in Downing Street. Johnson, who in 2019 won his party's biggest majority in more than 30 years, is now fighting to shore up his authority after a series of revelations about parties in his Downing Street residence during COVID lockdowns. So, politicians, especially big major leaders like Boris Johnson, tend to be more in the know about things that are going on behind the scenes in, the world, in the governments and all of that, than the average person tends to be. And this just seems like another example of a politician knowing that this whole pandemic just wasn't really what it was made out to be, it would seem, allegedly. Because if it was really so bad and so serious and scary, you would think that they would take it more seriously, right? But the thing is, brainwashing is a very powerful tool, and a lot of people, by and large, especially in Europe, it seems, are convinced that it is a very big deal and that they need to do everything that they've been told that they need to do, regardless of whether it's a mandated rule or not. Here are a few examples from about a month ago of that.
It's a rule. Use it.
Yeah.
I've got no problems wearing it in a shop or here. As I say, it's just logic.
Yeah.
If it keeps it away, keeps it away. I mean, as I say, I've not had a cold in 2 years because you wear the mask. You're not catching anything. But as I say, they all need to listen to the news and understand.
And I try to avoid the concentrations and things like that. But no one was wearing face masks. It was quite a lot of people. So I was like, I don't feel that comfortable because I don't know what the new variant can do on me or affect on my family, for example. So I try to keep far from that. But I think everyone needs to be a little bit more, using face masks.
Last week I was quite surprised by how few people were wearing them. Actually, the train is not so bad, but the tubes, I was really surprised. Yeah. Very happy to wear a mask. I do wear a mask in a plane, in a train, in a bus, in a tube.
Would you like them here or there? Would you like them in a house? Would you like them with a mouth? Would you eat them in a box? Would you eat them with a fox?
I do wear a mask in a plane, in a train, in a bus, in a tube. It's really not that difficult to do it.
I don't mind them, especially on the underground, because now there's a lot of people back on the underground and, you're pretty close to each other. So, yeah, I'm not too bothered about it, really.
So yeah, it will be interesting to see how long this actually lasts, when they're gonna change their tune in England, possibly, because, it is kind of going against what most countries are doing, and oftentimes that's a problem if you go against the greater plan, so to speak. So yeah, we'll stay tuned to what is going on, and I will see you around very soon. Thank you again so much for being here today. Since you liked the video enough to make it all the way to the end, don't forget to click the thumbs up and leave your comments in the comment section below. Share with somebody else who would also enjoy. If you really enjoyed it, don't forget to check out the link in the description for several different ways that you can support what I do here. Have a wonderful night, afternoon, morning, evening, whatever time zone you are in, and I will see you next time. Bye.